Are we live?
Howdy! Hope everyone's doing all right. I remembered to set it up early this time, so there's so many comments and questions to get into straight away. But thank you all for showing up. If we could all like the stream just to get it pushed out to more people, it really helps other people and it helps the channel and everything. Any coaching services and all that lot's going to be in the description, along with the Subliminal app, along with Katie's tarot readings and everything. Not going to bore you all that because there's people waiting, but I hope you have all had a good day. Obviously, Katie is here with me as well.
Hey.
Yeah. So jumping straight into it. H has really stolen the show with the first few paragraphs. So let's get on with it. H says, "Hey mate, howdy. Hope you're doing all right. Matt, just got to let you know, most of people come to LOA when they are in very dire state, particularly when it comes to broken heart. Yeah, absolutely. Now that I am healed and moving forward with my life, I realize the gratitude for you to be so much available, humble, and maintaining your boundaries. Your sessions are affordable, unlike many LOA YouTubers. Same gratitude goes for Akshay Nick. I'm not saying this from a state of I won't be able to afford this. It's not that. I affirm daily that I have more than enough for what I want and need, but I do critique this intention of overpricing sessions when they know people need it a lot. It is like America Healthcare, where life-saving drugs are so overpriced. Let's be honest, a broken heart is also a near-death experience at the moment. I'll be honest with you, after all the healing and self-work, I can see through facade of YouTube LOA coaches, particularly female coaches. I am being equanimous. I think I said that wrong while making the statement. So first off, yes, thank you very much for the kind words about me and my prices and putting my time out there and everything like that and how much I do give to this. I know everyone notices it and realizes it, but it's just nice when people sort of like make it known that they realize just how much I actually do for this channel. So I'm really happy that you've put that out there for me. So thank you very much.
Sorry, I was just going to say, you guys get more of his time than I do.
Yeah, that's like last night. I'm going to answer the rest of your comment in a second, H. But last night we were doing a Yu-Gi-Oh draw, and as soon as it was done at like 10:30 at night, I was like going back onto my laptop, sending out like invite session confirmations and stuff. So it's literally like as soon as we're done like chilling, it's back to work. So yeah, I do a lot of time on this. But yeah, I do think that a lot of LOA coaches are very overpriced. In fact, the person I was referencing just now about that I went back and sent the confirmation to yesterday, they were saying that they just had a session that confused them a little bit more than before they even went into it. Not with me, with someone else. And then when I said, well, if you want my help, that's fine. If not, there's the Discord community. They all got really great advice. And then I told them my price and they were like, wow, that's like way less than what this other coach is giving me. And it's like, yeah, I intend to help as many people as possible. Obviously, there is the element of the higher the price, the less clients I have to take on to then obviously still pay the bills. But I like doing it. I like helping people. So I'm happy to keep it lower so that more people can be involved and help as many people. Because, yeah, you're right. Being heartbroken is a very traumatic time for anybody. So having a helping hand there with it not being like ridiculously expensive is obviously very helpful. But yeah, thank you very much for your kind words about my time and everything. Carolina says, hey, Matt, just want to ask, when we know our core belief, do we have to know or identify where or what experience it came from? Or is it enough to just know the belief to change it? Because with some beliefs, I know what they are, but I don't particularly know from what time or experience in the past it came from. So quite often, so you don't even ever need to actually identify core beliefs. The only reason why I recommend you do, and the only reason why it is widely spoken about that you do, is because a lot of people do have a struggle with just looking past them, so it's like a core belief will be there. And while you don't need to change a belief in order to manifest your desires, many people can't control their mind to be able to say, I'm going to ignore that and focus on what I want instead. So quite often, all you have to do with a core belief, if you choose to change it, is to just change it. You don't have to know like the day that it arrived. You don't have to know what events led up to it. All helpful stuff, because then it will help you overcome it, but you don't actually need to. And you don't actually need to know your core beliefs or even work on them to manifest your desires. Where your focus goes is where your energy flows. So if you're just simply dwelling in the end result of having your desire, and anytime anything of the opposing comes up, you redirect your focus back to the end result, that is simply enough. If you find it too difficult to just simply remove your attention away from that like issue that may have arisen, that's when you can work on those core beliefs so that they don't come up as often, and then you can redirect focus. But that's about as far as you need to go. I can guarantee you there's a lot of beliefs that I personally haven't worked on that I know are there. I just, when they come up, I'm like, no, you can go over there. Go sit in the corner on your own. Alan says, actually in time for a live for once. Congrats on me. Yeah, so I made sure that when I got up this morning, or like not long after I got up this morning, to make it scheduled so that everyone could see it, because a lot of people last time were saying that they joined late and like halfway through and yada yada yada. So glad to see you here, Alan, and hopefully the scheduling helped you guys know that I was obviously going to be here. Sorry, just on the camera. Lone Wolf Heart says, hi everyone, new here. Howdy, howdy, Lone Wolf Heart. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. Fandom Geek says, in early, so I'm going to submit a few questions. Absolutely. Thank you for showing up. Fandom Geek also says, I know you're going to say circumstances don't matter, but I feel the need to vent, lol. Trio friend group, guy, girl, myself. I like the guy. They like each other. How would you go about it when you are rooted in feeling that this circumstance is immovable? How do you manifest lost items? You know, okay, there, I'm assuming they're like different questions. So I'll answer that first. So again, very similar to what I just said about the core beliefs thing. You don't actually need to do anything besides just dwelling in the end result. So you say that, what's Ray doing? Get out of the sofa, you crackhead.
He's scratching the sofa.
I think she's trying to find something in it. So your conscious mind is seeing it as an immovable thing. Your conscious mind is seeing that I like this person, these people like each other. And it's kind of like piecing it all together within your conscious mind. This is the same conscious mind that you use to direct the power of your subconscious mind to create the reality that you want. So you basically have a choice in every single instance. Do you choose to go along with what your conscious mind is using as evidence from the 3D of they like each other and this is immovable? Or do you use that same conscious mind to direct the focus of your, direct the power of your subconscious mind by dwelling in the end result? Because you may not necessarily be able to control what thought comes up and when it comes up, but you can definitely control where your thoughts go from there. And you can 100% control what comes out of your mouth. So if you notice that you're thinking about, and this is what I personally do as well, if you notice yourself thinking about something that you don't want, in this case of them liking each other and it being immovable, cat, stop. Literally say it out loud. That's one thing that I personally do myself. I literally will just say out loud what it is that I want, because when I say it out loud, not only am I clearly using my brain to make that statement, but I also find that by hearing my own voice saying it, I kind of like drowns out that little voice inside my head that says it's impossible. Because referring to scripture and everything, all it says in scripture is when you pray, believe you've received it and you shall. And that doesn't say anything about, working to move past all of these kind of things. It says stuff like God makes a way when there isn't a way. So you personally feel it's immovable, but your subconscious mind doesn't. So if you give it the right direction, it'll have to make it work. And God makes a way when there isn't a way. All of these sorts of things. At no point does it ever say you have to actually work past anything in the middle. It doesn't say anything about how you have to deal with core beliefs. It literally just says, decide what it is that you want. Paraphrase, obviously. Decide what it is that you want. Anytime anything comes up, you need to make sure that your focus is on it already being done and knowing it to be done, and it will be done. And so for what I would recommend in this kind of situation is to state it out loud. If you don't already, try that. Literally just, obviously, if you can, if you're like in the middle of a classroom, I probably wouldn't recommend it. But if you have that option where you can literally just make that statement, say it, drown out your own voice, because I guarantee it will help you a lot more. We have just had a lovely donation from Lone Wolf Heart of £10. Thank you very much. Just a small token of gratitude to you and Matt, and hi, Katie.
Hi.
I saw a previous live stream. Your tortoiseshell cat is identical to mine. Feels like a sign that this channel is going to help me so much. Well, thank you very much for the donation, firstly. Second of all, hopefully it does. That's the intention with this channel. Is originally I started it to try and make it easier to understand for a lot of people. And I've been seeing you comment, obviously, on a lot of my videos recently, and I'm really hoping that they're going to be a big thing for you. So again, thank you very much for supporting the channel, donating, and being here with us today. And yeah, the tortoiseshell is called Rogan.
And she's the best cat.
Nah, Ray Ray's the best cat, the black one
she's
over there.
The best cat.
No.
I'm sorry I was laughing as well through that whole thing. She decided to start like tunneling downwards with her little like paws and her head into the cushion, and then got stuck with her butt up in the air. I don't know if you could see any of it, but it was really funny and made me laugh. Now she's
over there now.
Around the other sofa.
Back to where we were. So the next thing that Fandom Geek says is, how do you manifest lost items? You know for a fact in a certain location, but is not. How do you manifest lost items you know for a fact are in a certain location, but is not?
I was just going to say something, and I don't know whether it works for everybody, but I look for something else because naturally in my brain, and I think a lot of people also have that assumption that the minute you start looking for something else, you will find the previous thing you was looking for. And because I have that assumption, the minute I start looking for anything else, I find the thing that I was looking for straight away. But I think it's like kind of like an old, like every old person has always said that joke to me where I'm like, oh, have you seen this? They're like, no, but you know, as soon as you start looking for something else, then it'll appear, sort of thing. So I think that's just a natural assumption that I have. So yeah, whenever I start looking for something else, there it is.
I may be wrong on what it's called, but there's also something like when you're trying to think of an actor's name, for example, and your mind goes blank. I think it's called jamais vu. And what your mind does is it blocks out all things that could possibly be it to try and narrow it down. And by accident, it blocks out the thing that you're trying to think of as well, which is why when you forget, it then reopens and then you remember. But in terms of manifestation, like how to manifest that, very similar to what Katie says, stop trying to find it, because when you're in that state of like, oh, where are my keys? They should be here, and you're frantically searching around. Is that the actions of someone who has their object? No. So you'll quite often find yourself not being able to find it because of that. So quite often, if you literally, like Katie says, go look for something else or stop like trying to force it to find them, you'll more than likely like come across them in like a shoe or something really stupid that they shouldn't be there.
I think as well, the other thing that people do when they are looking for something is they list everywhere it's not. Like straight away, you're like, well, it's not going to be there. It's not going to be in that cupboard. It's not going to be in the drawer. Like so you're just creating where it's not where it is. Yeah.
Exactly. And then Phantom Geek says, and Dreamhouse at 18, following up from when we called lol, still very conflicting about that desire. So I do remember what you're talking about, but what specifically are you on about? Like manifesting the dream house at 18, or not knowing where it is that your dream house and all of that you want to be? Is that sorry? Is that what you mean? Because you said still very conflicted about that desire. So do you mean the actual how to get the house, or where you want that house to be, or what your dream house actually is? With a little bit more information on that, then obviously I'll be able to answer a little bit better. And then Phantom Geek also says, hope you two, or just Matt, are well nourished and fed and not going to starve yourselves for this live. Laugh my ass off. Well, both of us. You're going to want Katie to live as well. But
oh no, he puts another comment. It's okay. I don't know if both of you are showing up, so I just said Matt.
oh, I see. Oh yeah, I forgot this is before we went live. Yeah, I was about to say that's a bit rude, but yeah, we haven't eaten yet.
No, we haven't.
we're going to be doing it after this live.
To be fair though, we just are late eaters.
But yeah,
we always eat really late.
Yeah,
not like this late, but around this sort of time is like the earliest that we eat, to be fair.
Yeah. Good save though. On the last part, we were like, I just said Matt, but not singling him out. Blah blah blah. You lucky. Nah, joking. Lone Wolf Heart says, at Phantom Key, good question about lost items. I lost my sunglasses last summer. Have a feeling they're gone for good because I've looked everywhere. Would like to know more about manifesting them back. So I suppose one thing that we also didn't add to that when we were talking about lost items is like, you could obviously do all of the techniques and stuff. You can imagine yourself wearing them. You can do your affirmations to say that you're wearing them. You can kind of act like you're already wearing them. Just techniques that imply that you are wearing them right now. I suppose that would be for like more longer lost things. The things where it's like my keys should be here, but they're not here right now. I think the stop trying to look is a very good way of dealing with that. But as for like things like that, where it's been gone for a while, try to envision yourself wearing them, whether it's affirmations, scripting like about your time wearing them, or even visualizing yourself wearing them. Phantom Geek says, this is so strange. I've never been early and always come in late, so this is fun too. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, when I checked, when I was about to start, well, Katie pointed out to me actually how many comments there were already, and I was like, oh no, it's going to be a very, very long time getting through these. Phantom Geek also says, at Lone Wolf Heart, right? I have such strong conviction of where an item is, but it isn't strong enough to be an assumption. Yeah, just envision yourself in it, sort of thing, you know, stop remembering that it's lost and start accepting that it's here right now. Flower QT says, hi Matt, howdy. Carolina says, I'm so happy I'm on time as well. This time set a notification. And then says, hi Katie, nice to see you, looking beautiful as usual.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, so again, we tried to put the little scheduling up so that more people can be on time and not missing half of the live. Because so many people joined in the last like 10 minutes and I'm like trying to head off. So I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden again. And then Carolina also says, Matt, do you offer email coaching or just one-on-one video? So I do offer emails as well. For anyone that's looked at my website, the reason why they're not all in the same place is because the calendar, I don't have all the time free. Obviously, I have to do stuff like school pickups, and I have the second business, which is kind of all being built up. So I have a meeting then. So I can't have my calendar just open forever. I have to like schedule it out and sort of put when I'm working and when I'm out of hours. But because I have a calendar, it requires a separate page, which on the back end of my website means that it has to go through like a different tunnel, so to speak. That's why emails, as well as like vision boards, affirmations tapes, and all that lot are on one section, and then video calls are on a separate section, which is probably why most people sign up for video calls, because it's easier to see them. But yeah, I do offer email coaching, but that's why they're not all in the same place, just in case you'd looked at my website. By all means, shoot me an email at mindoverthismatrix@gmail.com and we can talk about it, or just go on the website and it's under, I think it's now changed to email and other services, because I did speak to them about getting it changed so that more people could be aware that there were other things as well as the videos and emails. But yeah, I work one-on-one, video and email. Izzy Wood says, hey, howdy. Blagovesta, apologies if I said that wrong, says, how do you manifest a text? So a text will be the same as anything else. You want to impress your subconscious mind with the notion that it is already in existence right now. So it depends on what techniques that you prefer. I'm going to go with affirmations just for this, because I prefer to use affirmations over anything. If I wanted a text that was loving and, passionate or something like that, I would say something like, I'm so grateful to have received such a loving text from insert person's name, or any kind of variation of an affirmation like that. So it felt amazing to open a loving text from insert person, or I couldn't stop smiling when I read the loving text that insert person sent me. Just kind of variations that imply that you received a specific text from a specific person and it's already happened now. And then just go on repeating those to yourself whenever you get the chance to. I know there's like kind of a bit of a not contradiction is not the word I'm looking for. Basically, in the LOA community, some people say that you don't need to affirm a lot. Some people say you need to affirm millions of times. I find that just affirm when you've got the chance to, because it's your dominant state that manifests. And because of that, when you're busy and occupied in something, you won't be really thinking about it anyway. But when you're not busy and occupied, you probably will. So for me, for example, I affirm at the moment anyway. I've started doing my affirmations a lot more again, for just because I wanted to kind of improve things. I do mine pretty much anytime that I'm doing housework, and I'll try to do it for the entirety of housework. So I probably do about an hour's worth of housework every single day. So I'll do at least an hour's worth of just solid affirming, because I'm already just doing whatever kind of thing. But if I'm particularly busy that day, I won't affirm, and it doesn't make a difference because I'm not really thinking about it. So in terms of the how much you should affirm or do your techniques, that will probably more depend on your availability and how much you actually think about your desire. And Katie, do you have something to say? It looked like you were like getting ready to say something.
No.
Okay. But yeah, so the text has already happened now, as you want to repeat that to yourself until it comes into fruition. Soulheart says, hello, hope you're well. Love your channel. Thank you very much. Hope you're well too. And yeah, thank you for the kind words about the channel. Lone Wolf Heart says, hello, Matt and Katie. Missed the start. Sorry, you don't have to apologize. So it's all good. We'll be here for at least another 40 minutes or so. So any other questions, by all means, chuck them in. And again, thank you very much for your donation. Alan said, would you mind doing a video on being patient while manifesting, as being impatient basically says you don't have it? So I can do a video on that. The only problem with stuff like impatience and discipline is there isn't much that I can do to like help you, because they all revolve around you having control over yourself. Like, for example, I can teach you techniques. I can teach you what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, but I can't teach you how to be patient. I can't teach you how to be disciplined. So I can do a video and sort of give some ideas on what you could kind of adjust, or how you can work on being more patient and stuff like that. But a lot of that will come down to your self-discipline, and there isn't really a lot that I can advise you past what I kind of gave to Fandom Geek earlier, when you notice you're getting impatient, catch it, stop it, say to yourself, no, I already have this thing, dwell in it, and then move on. Because patience, discipline, all that lot, they all come down to like you yourself. The old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I can give you all the tools and techniques, but I can't make you do them. I can't like make you be disciplined. I can't make you be patient, but I can definitely like think about how I could do a video in the future that might give some of those ideas. For sure. Noam15 says, hi, Matt and Katie. Nora, howdy, Nora.
Hello.
Glad to have you here. Aditi says, now that I have manifested my SP back together in a relationship, how do I make him pursuing and chasing totally addicted to me? Well, there's a couple of things. Are you totally addicted to yourself? Do you think that you're worthy of being totally addicted to and chased? And are you assuming him to be that way with you? Because it's one thing to see yourself a certain way, but if you're not also seeing them to see you in that same way, then you'll probably get diminishing results. This is why a lot of people will have situations where new people are showing up in loving and amazing ways, but their specific person isn't, and it's because they have that old assumption of their specific person, of not treating them a certain way, and then they're also abiding by that assumption. So step into the version of yourself who is chased, prioritized, addicted to, and everything like that, as well as step into seeing him to be someone who is all of those things towards you. If we could all like the stream as well, there's 40 people in here with 11 likes. It just gets it pushed out and it really helps the algorithm, and it'll just get more people on the channel, more questions that you might need. You never knew. I messed up my speech. It'll get more people in that might ask.
They might ask the question that you never knew you needed the answer for.
Thank you, because I'm stupid.
They might.
Oh wow, that rocketed up. Thank you very much, guys. Noam15 says, think I could ask you my question here? Absolutely. Any questions, fire them away. It's all good. Vibes on Vibe says, hi, Matt and Katie. Howdy.
Hello.
I hope you're both well. Very good, thank you. I hope you're well. I have a question. What's the best way to manifest an apology from SP when you're still hurt at what they have done and hold anger? So quite often, apologies will more often than not, will come as part of you stepping into the state of already having what you have. Now, not always. I'm not going to say that they always do, but let's face it, if you are hurt, if something's happened to hurt you and then you end up reconciled, as part of that reconciliation, quite often you will get an apology anyway. So I see an apology very similar to how I see a text, where yes, you can affirm or go straight for the apology / text, but being in the relationship will naturally more than likely get you that text or that apology as just part of the bridge of incidents. So the first instance, I would recommend trying to go straight to the end result, and it will come as a byproduct. The other part of when you said you're still hurt at what they've done and hold anger, you get what it is that you give out, essentially. Like what you're holding on to, what you're putting out there, you will receive. So if you're angry at someone and holding that anger, do you think that's going to bring them in to give you an apology? Because you're not sitting in that state of someone who has received an apology. If you receive an apology, more often than not, there'll be at least a little bit of forgiveness. I'm not going to say complete forgiveness, but at least a little bit of forgiveness. Some of the anger will probably diminish, and you'll probably be on better terms, more than likely. So if you're sitting holding on to that anger and hurt about what they've done and holding on to that, that isn't the state of someone who has received an apology. So what I recommend in this kind of instance, and the best way to manifest an apology, try your best to let go of that hurt. Try your best to let go of that anger. I would recommend going straight to the end result and having the apology come as part of the bridge of events. But if you really want the apology first, then dwell in the end result of that apology already being here, because the state that you're in when you're holding on to those things is not that of having an apology. So try to let it all go and focus on the apology having already been in existence. Siddharth says, left Succession S2 for this. I don't know what that means. Apologies.
I think it's a series.
Oh, is it? Oh, season 2. Well, if it is, thank you very much. I'm glad to know that we mean more than a TV program. Glad to have you here. JRC says, hey, everyone. How is Matt and Kat today? Very good. Thank you. How are you?
Very good.
Congratulations on the 5,000. Yeah, thank you very much. And especially to everyone that was involved in that video as well, involved in pushing that video out. It absolutely exploded. I think it's like our second or third best video on the channel in such a short time, and it's absolutely blown us up. So thank you very much, everyone that liked and commented. If you haven't watched it yet, or if you didn't like and comment, go back and like and comment and watch it now, because it really does like make a huge difference for the channel. As I mentioned in my most recent video, before that video went live, it was like 4,700 subscribers, and due to the last 2 videos, because the other one after that has also done really well, we are now at 5,502. So we've gone up by like 700 subscribers within less than a week. So it makes such a huge difference. So thank you everyone that supported that video, and thank you very much, JRC, for shouting it out there. or shouting out the 5K. Did you have something?
No.
Okay.
How do you?
Thanks.
Mhm.
Ashtown Love says, hello, Matt. It's been a while. It has. Howdy, howdy. No, I'm 15 says, Nora, your client from Belgium, by the way. Yeah, I know who you were. When you said you were Nora earlier. That's what you... I can't talk. Yeah, I recognize because you said Nora at the end. I knew who you were. Glad to have you here, Nora. H says, howdy, I'm back. Howdy, howdy. Sandy says, best money affirmations. So this, I think, will depend very much on whatever you do in your life. So the ones that I use, and you can obviously adjust them, and I can give you some others, is the first one I use is I effortlessly earn X amount. So for me, I say a minimum of £3,000 per month, just an easy number to go with. I'm so grateful to receive so many new and returning coaching clients graciously paying for me for my services. So for you, you can say something like, I am so grateful my work pays me graciously for my work, something along those lines. And I'll just kind of detail it to what I actually want. So the amount of money I want to earn, earning through the job that I'm doing. And then I'll have other things like money comes to me so easily and effortlessly. It's so easy for me to make large sums of money. I receive money from expected and unexpected places, things of that general nature. But basically, and there is, I'm not going to say there isn't a best affirmation. There's obviously ones that are more descriptive and will be more specific, but as long as it's from an end result and it implies that you're getting that big amount of money, it's going to be all good.
I was just gonna say, literally whenever I buy anything or I'm looking at anything, I always say to myself, like, oh, I always have enough money for anything. Like I know I've got enough money. Not necessarily like then do I buy the thing, because sometimes I don't actually want the thing, but literally whenever I'm looking at anything, whenever I'm in a shop, just walking around, like I never ever check my own bank account, which kind of is scary every now and then because you're like, oh, let's see, and just like tap it, and then you're like, yay. So yeah, and that works. I've never had anything sort of declined or anything, but yeah, so just like continuously going, yeah, obviously I have money. Oh, I always have money. Oh, I can buy that. I've got enough money. Like to anything that I see, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carolina says, I have made the decision for the month of March to completely focus on myself and get off social media to maintain focus. And I feel so much better and have a fresh mind every day. That's really good. I wish I could do that, but unfortunately my business is now online. So yeah, but I do think having a break away from social media can be really good sometimes. And then Carolina also says, also, would you ever consider doing a Facebook group for your followers? It's funny you should say that, actually. So I was speaking to Katie about this not too long ago, because I know Discord isn't for everyone. The reason why I've done Discord is because you can have all the different channels for different things, which I thought was just made it easier for me to separate everything out. But I was actually speaking to Katie the other day about making a Facebook group just because more people prefer it. And I am now going to be doing advertisements for my website to go on Google. And as part of the advertisement, I had to make a Facebook page. So there is actually now a Facebook page. It's not really being used, but it is technically available. And I was thinking that I might start using it more for the people that want to use Facebook instead of Discord and stuff. And then I can obviously just post when videos go live and any announcements and stuff. And it just could be like more of a community place, because I know that like other coaches, for example, Kim Velez has her own Facebook. I don't know if Sammy's is on Facebook or whether it's on something else, but I know she's got her own community group as well. So yeah, there probably will be the use of that very soon. Well, I mean, you can go to it now, but there's nothing on there. But yeah, probably. Yeah, or Yaya says, what are your thoughts about robotic affirming? I think it's fine. I personally find I get the most success when I really do feel into it, but I get just as, well, I'm not going to say just as much, but I do get successes when I robotically affirm. It's all thinking. In order for you to robotically affirm, you must at least have some semblance of your brain thinking about the thing that you're affirming for in order for you to make it into a statement. So I think robotic affirmations are perfectly fine. I've had successes with them, and I do it when I'm doing, I don't know if you were in the stream earlier, but when I'm doing like washing and stuff, not washing, chores and stuff, I will robotically affirm then, just because I can't really feel into it while putting like washing out. So yeah, works perfectly fine. Rivka says, oh my God, please can someone answer me this? Can two SPs be actively manifesting each other unknowingly? So I suppose technically they can, but you are the opera power in your reality, which means whatever you want will work. So like there will be people that will probably have someone who also claims that they were manifesting them as well, but in their reality they can't be manifested unless their assumptions align with it, sort of thing. So let's say, for example, how do I explain this? So let's say, for example, I'm manifesting someone in their and in my reality, I'll receive them, but in their reality, it will be a different. I've explained this really bad. So I'm gonna have to go into like the multiple realities sort of theory here. Let's say there's reality 1, reality 2. If reality 1 version of me is manifesting someone and that person is in alignment with that, we will connect in reality 1. However, if reality 1 version of me is manifesting someone and reality 1 version of them is not in alignment with my assumptions of being together, they will shift to reality 2 where they will not be with me, if that makes sense. So if two people are manifesting, let's say the same person, I know this isn't your question, but this will tie into your question. If in reality 1, me and Katie were manifesting the same person, for example, obviously we can't both win unless we go into some sort of open relationship. So what will happen is I will stay in reality 1 with my person and Katie will shift in reality 2 where she gets the same person. We'll have different versions of them based on their different realities. Our awareness will just align with the different realities in which that comes into fruition. Now, for your instance of two people actively manifesting each other, when you say unknowingly, I don't understand how they could be actively manifesting unknowingly unless you mean the person 1 was manifesting person 2 without person 2 knowing it, and person 2 was manifesting person 1 without person 1 knowing it.
I think that's
If that's the case, then in each of their realities they would win, and obviously if they're both manifesting each other, that would align and they would equal in the same reality. So instead of one splitting off into reality 1 and the other splitting off into reality 2, they'll just stay in reality 1 in which they both align. Everything right?
Yeah.
Cool. Hopefully that answers your question. And I started that terribly, which is why I fumbled over myself because I knew what I wanted to say, but I messed up. Alan, what's that?
Huh? Oh, nothing.
Okay.
I was just checking because I haven't really checked any comments recently. I just like to make sure that there's nothing like bad coming through or whatever.
Okay.
Like any of those spam channels.
Yeah. Alan says, "What is the one piercing you would never get to both of you?" Well, I'm never gonna get my dick pierced. Like never. Like that's just a no for me. What about you?
Yeah, I think anything down there.
You're not gonna get your dick pierced?
No, never.
No.
Means too much to me.
It just makes me cringe. It's just I just don't know how people do it. Like
I remember for absolutely ages, I really wanted to get like the inside part here pierced, and then I found out that it literally never heals. Never. And I have like lots of different piercings that have never healed, and it was just so like horribly uncomfortable. So the idea of it being on your hand and then just never ever ever healing, I'm just like nah. Also, I feel like my mum would get mad about that. No matter how old I am, she would. But yeah. He used to do piercing.
Yeah, I'm actually a qualified piercer.
Yeah.
It was my first business venture. It did so well that I quit it. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it was doing so well, and I was like actually getting a lot of clients to the point where I kind of just hated it, and then ended up like shutting the business down. Lone Wolf Heart says, "I'm not stalking you, honest, lol." Well, and to be honest, if it means watching all of the videos and commenting on them all, I don't mind stalking me because it really helps the channel grow. So it's all good. Stalk all you want. And then you also say, "Oh, cats are the best." They absolutely are. I like dogs from a distance. I like dogs
over there.
Yeah, until you understand that you have to be responsible for them, then I'm like, yeah, I don't really like dogs in that sense. Tiny Tater Tot says, "We'll stick into self-concept affirmations. Seeing my SP as the new him. I want and ignore the 3D. 100% work to bring us back together into a committed relationship." Absolutely. If your focus is aligned with you being the best you can be and worthy of this relationship, him being the way that you want him to be and in this relationship, and not letting the 3D get to you, then yes, they will be more than enough to get you with your specific person. H says, "Any confirmation regarding collaboration, Matt?" Nope, nothing yet. I had actually, so in terms of the person that you're asking about, nothing. I did have someone reach out to me the other day, and I don't know if Matt's in this, so I'm gonna reference it in a second. But it was I can't remember her name, which makes me sound really bad. But it wasn't someone on YouTube. It was someone that has their own like psychology, like therapy business sort of thing, and they like touching on law of assumption stuff, so they wanted to do a collab with me to, I'm assuming, sell their products. So they sent me a link to a video of Tim something, I can't remember his name, some guy called Tim who is like a law of assumption person, And I watched the video because it was a collaboration with this lady. So I'm assuming she was showing me just so that I could get an idea of who she was. And one of the top comments was Matt Schwartz basically saying, like, for someone who's been in LOA, this guy's an awful lot of limiting beliefs. And I thought it was so funny because obviously Matt is one of my like OG people. He's pretty much watched me since the beginning. And when I just saw his name like in happenstance on this person's thingy, basically saying, you have a lot of limiting beliefs, mate, it made me chuckle. So, but in terms of the collaboration that you're waiting for, no, I haven't heard anything yet. I haven't heard anything from any of the other people, to be fair. I think that ship may have sailed. I might have to do some actual conscious manifestation to make that shit happen. But I know my worth. I don't double text. Puam says, apologies if I say your name wrong. I always feel like I do, but you never correct me. So I'm just going to assume that I say it right every time. Hello, Angel Sir and Angel Ma'am. Hello, hello. Glad to have you here.
Say hello. Oh, hi. Sorry. Sorry, I just saw a comment come in. So I was just reading it. Sorry.
JRC says, I'll remember everyone to join the YouTube membership. Oh, yeah. I love JRC. He always does my shout outs for me. So yeah, if any of you guys want any additional videos that obviously everyone else won't receive, join the YouTube membership. I do go into more personal detail in the YouTube membership videos. For example, giving stuff about my own life and where I come from and what I actually not believe in as in like LOA stuff, but what I believe in terms of like how certain people should conduct themselves and stuff like that, and things that have worked for me in more depth. Because I know I talk about my time with Katie and stuff and little things, but in my videos, I've kind of gone into a lot more depth in kind of stuff to do with me. So if you're interested in any of those, by all means, join the membership. You also get discount on services. And when we get to a point where our live streams are blowing up to the point where we can't physically answer all the questions, there will be member only live streams then, but obviously that will be whenever it is. But yeah, thank you very much, JRC, for reminding me and for reminding everyone else. H says, Joe Dispenza's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself is good. Yes, I've heard quite a few people talk about that, actually. I've never read it. I think it's a book, isn't it? I think so. I've never read it. SS says, for SP, can you give examples of the difference between self-concept and being in the state? So self-concept is your sense of self, essentially. So I would change the wording to concept of self. So self-concept will be kind of everything, including you. So the way you see yourself, the way you see relationships, the way that you see your specific persons, the way that you perceive your specific person to see you, everything that kind of involves yourself. So self-concept work will be like, I'm worthy and deserving, this person sees me as worthy of deserving, all those kinds of things, like working on yourself and your self-perception. A state is more something that you enter in and out of. So a state is more, how do I describe it? So I suppose self-concept would be more way of life, and a state will be momentary awareness. I think is probably the closest way that I can describe the differences. So self-concept is everything regarding self. A state is something that you enter in and out of. So for example, a broke person, this is always the example I go to, I know, but it's the one that I find the easiest to explain. A broke person will have a self-concept around money that they are poor. They're in poverty. Money doesn't work for them. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil, that kind of stuff. So their general way of life is being poor. That's why they receive more of that. If they then received a random bill, they can handle it the way that a rich person would. So a rich person would receive this bill and go, oh, pennies, I'll just pay it off without even having to worry about it. They would handle it the way a rich person can. A poor person's way of life will be that of being poor, but they can enter the state of being rich by handling it in a way that a rich person would, by paying off and not being concerned about the outcome. So that is kind of the differences. Way of life is self-concept, your sense of self, everything including yourself, essentially. And a state is more like a persona that you step into when you're affirming for a certain desire. So hopefully that explains it. What was your specific question? Can you give examples of the difference between self-concept and being in the state? Oh, and you said 4SP. So that's kind of how I best describe it. In regards to specific person, a very similar way, I suppose. If you find that relationships suck and that you struggle with relationships and all those kinds of things, that would generally be your self-concept. If you feel like you're not worthy of this relationship, if you feel like this person's on the pedestal and too good for you, that would be your self-concept. However, you can still be in that general self-concept and then affirm that this person loves you, visualize them loving you. When you're affirming or visualizing, you are momentarily stepping into the state of being with this person. Now, does that directly correlate to your self-concept? It will touch on it because, like I said, self-concept is your concept of self, so it'll be everything including you. But it won't be working on your self-concept until you directly work on how you perceive yourself in regards to everything involving your specific person. Hopefully that made sense.
Ooh.
Just to reiterate, self-concept is a way of life more so, and state is something that you momentarily step into when you are placing your focus on something. Fandom Geek says, I'm conflicted, and as in how to get it. I know where it is. Okay, so if you're conflicted on how to get it, again, it's very similar to the example that I gave you with the two people situation where they like each other. That is just a logical mind's way of saying this can't happen because. Your subconscious mind doesn't care about becauses, it doesn't care about whys, it doesn't care about hows. All it cares about is what's the direction. So you're conflicted on how to get it. That's because you're thinking logically. Your conscious mind is the same mind that the conscious mind that tells you I don't know how I'm going to get it is the same conscious mind that you quite literally use to speak. So you can say no, I already have it, and that will be quite literally counteracting that the confliction that you have, because you're using that same mind to change the course of what you are focusing on to be that of what it is that you want already being in existence right now. Alan says, at Rivka, technically yes, since thinking of someone is manifesting them, so both people thinking of each other at the same time. Yeah, exactly. Phantom Geek says, like the address and everything, haha. Okay, yeah, so same thing. You're conflicted because you're using your logical mind to try and figure out how it's going to happen. Just use your logical mind to tell yourself that it's already happened and let your subconscious mind do the rest. Victory 3002 Play says, hi everyone, hope you have a nice day. Hope you had a nice day too. So I failed my final math exam and ended up with failing grade, and I'm sad and stressed. How do you think I can change my pass grade, etc., to pass math? So very similar to what I said in the last live stream, because obviously this question's come up a couple of times. You want to focus on it already being done. You've received the failure, okay. That doesn't stop you from then telling yourself that you already passed. That doesn't stop you from continuing to persist in the idea that it's already like being the way that you want it to be. You can revise it, obviously. But the other thing, like I said in the last live stream, is you're seeing this as the end result. You're seeing this exam as the end result. Nobody gets a result from an exam to just keep it. You know, it's 99% of the time there's going to be something that they want to do with it. Everything right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every 99% of the time there's going to be something that you want to do with said exam. So if your exam was to go into quantum mechanics, for example, dwell in the end result of already being in the job that you wanted this exam to take you to, because the exam is just the middle in this instance. So in your situation, you can either revise it so that you got the result you wanted. You can either persist forward saying that you already got the exam result that you wanted, or you can just persist in the end result of being in the job that this result would have got you in. Also, for the first time ever, we've finally hit 50 people watching a live stream. So thank you everyone who is in this live stream. I really appreciate it. For you. But no,
it happened.
It happened. So thank you very much, everyone that is supporting the live streams and for finally getting us to 50 people. If we could all like the video, because there's 46 people in here with only 26 likes, and that might boost it back up to the 50 people that it once was, the glory that we once had.
I feel like everyone just dipped.
Yeah, they left just to take the piss.
Haha, fuck you.
Phantom Geek says, for example, I have a couch in mind I want to use when I'm in that house at 18. If I focus on the couch, will I get the couch or the couch in the house? Why not focus on the couch in the house, and then you'll definitely get the couch in the house? That would be like the way that I would go about it.
That kind of sounded like a I can't even fucking think of it. You know, Cat in the Hat.
Kind of, yeah. You know, it reminded me of. Did you see Scary Movie 3?
Probably, yes.
The one with Kevin Hart in.
Yeah.
The one they're having the conversations about how can you wake up dead? That's like, and they're like talking about. That's what it reminded me of.
I just wanted to say really quickly, because there was somebody just saying, oh, please answer my question. We just go down the list, just so you know. So like we definitely will get to your question. It's just like we just go down the list kind of thing. So if you are worried that we haven't answered it yet, it's because we are so far behind, like ridiculously far behind.
Yeah, might have to stop the questions.
Yeah, might have to. So
yeah,
just so you know, we don't ever miss anybody, and like we get there.
Yeah. Passionate One says, hello, you two. Howdy, howdy.
Hello.
Is 2 years too long to manifest someone back into your life? No, it is not. If you want to continue to persist to get them, then you still can. 2 years. There is no time limit on how long you have to manifest someone. Just commit to it if you want them, or move on if you don't want to. Sandy says, revise it. I don't know who that's referring to, but probably. That's probably the right answer for someone's question. H says, Matt, sometimes why do we feel attached to sad songs? Because as a species, we seem to love reveling in the negative. Let's face it. How many times have you been like quite miserable, but loved telling people just how miserable you are, or like how much you like feel hurt, and you continue putting sad songs on just so they hit harder? For some reason, that's just what we like to do, and I don't know why, but yeah.
It's just what you relate to, I think.
Yeah.
I think especially if a sad song has like a couple of words in it that like, you know, you've recently experienced yourself kind of thing, and then you're just like, yeah. And then you just like to drag it all up and just cry it out.
Yeah. Ananya says, hi Matt, my first time here. Howdy Ananya, glad to have you here. H says, bring your other channel back. Yeah, I know, I said I was going to do it, and I actually did start. I recorded a video, scripted it, started getting all the stock video footage for it, and then just decided I didn't want to do that video anymore, and I just haven't got around to doing a different video instead. But I know I need to. But I've been so busy, literally, like so busy at the moment, trying to even find the time to do a spec. 'Cause I'm also working on the specific person course as well. And for those of you who don't know, it's a course that I'm creating to basically for you guys to have to help you manifest your specific people. And at current, there's 50 plus videos that need to go into it. So there's also a lot of that recording as well. And obviously, I'm putting a lot more editing into my current videos I do for this channel, and that takes up a lot of time. So I'm just kind of overall just very stretched thin at the moment. Kelsey says, I think it's Kelsey. Apologies if I said it wrong. My SP recently started to ignore me and moved back to her hometown. She watched my story on Facebook and comment on my post, but don't text me. What should I do? Persist in the end result of whatever it is that you want. I'm assuming relationships, since you said that they're your SP. So in your relationship, all of these little things that you sort of said wouldn't even be a concern because you would be in a relationship with them. So create that end result in mind, get deeply clear on it, and then start telling yourself that it's in existence right now. Persist in that end result and dwell in that end result, and only allow anything that's in alignment with it come to mind. Stay in mind. Anything else, let it come up and then let it pass.
I think as well, that you definitely shouldn't see that as a negative thing. Like if you were in a relationship with a person, they would be commenting on your Facebook stuff, and they would be like viewing your story and stuff like that. So like tell yourself that they are doing that because you're in a relationship, and you know, like ignore the fact that they aren't texting you because in you know. But also the other thing is in like in relationships, you don't actually tend to text all that much anyway. So I don't think that you should let that be sort of like a negative thing, like showing that you're not in a relationship. You should view it as like you are in a relationship. They're not texting you because you're with them all the time. They're not texting you because they're sat right next to you right now, sort of thing. Like you can tell yourself the meaning of absolutely anything and decide what it means. So I think rather than seeing it in a negative way and creating negative outcomes, see it in a much more positive way. And now we're at 51.
Hey, we're back. I'd actually argue that you text less when you're in a relationship than when you're in the talking stages. But Phantom Geek says, "It's your reality. Stop assuming you're coughing." Yeah, I know. Shush. I don't like to be held accountable. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I know. It's awful. So basically, because I do metal vocals, and when I first started practicing, I found that I kind of like fucked it up a little bit. So obviously, I recently just got over being ill, but I also do actually just cough quite a lot, which is just an assumption I have based on, you know, experiences that I haven't bothered to change, and I just kind of committed to it as part of my character now. Victory says, I try to forget about my exam and my grade, but in my subconscious mind, I still know it, at least from time to time. If you know any tips, please share it with me. I'll try to revise it or something. So you said in your subconscious mind, you still know it. Your subconscious mind merely takes direction from your conscious mind, which means if you want something new in your subconscious mind, you have to tell it something new. So you said you try to forget about it, but have you tried to change what your subconscious mind has stored in it? Because that might be what needs to be changed. That might be what needs to happen in order for you to change that story. Well, no, it is what needs to happen in order for you to change the story, but it might be that thing that kind of stops you from worrying about it so much. If we could all, I can't remember if I've already said this, but if we could all stop the comments as well so we can catch up, because like usual, we haven't eaten. So yeah, if we can all stop the comments, I'm going to try and catch up. Unfortunately, we are on a very small time scale, so I might not actually get to answer everyone today, but I will try to get through to them because we do have to head off very shortly. Connor Patrick Music says, nice to catch one of your lives. How are you doing? I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. How are you doing? And it's nice to have you here, Connor. Cold Tulip says, hi both. What are your opinions on changing people? My SP wants to be with me, but I suspect he has a personality disorder and has issues with pathological lying. I don't know if it relates to everyone as you pushed out. So that would be an assumption that you have on him. So if you want him to have a different way of like acting, then start assuming him to be different. If you're assuming that he's a pathological liar, that's definitely not going to benefit you in the long run. I have no problems with changing people. I know some people see it as like this really like evil thing to do, and it's like, ooh, changing people, but you're changing people anyway. When you have natural assumptions with people before you know about manifestation, you were constantly viewing them a certain way, and then they had to kind of abide by that same way. So you were doing it beforehand. There's no reason why you can't do it to benefit you now.
I also don't think that there is anything wrong with getting rid of horrible personality traits as well. Like pathological liar is not good in anyone. It's not like removing that will make their like a good part of them go away or anything like that. It's just not a good characteristic to have. So even if like you feel like you can't do it for whatever reason, the thing is they will benefit so much more by not being a pathological liar. So yeah, I definitely think you can. I think it is a lot easier than people say as well. I think that people kind of have this assumption that you can't mess with other people's like thinking and stuff like that, but it is just as simple as anything else. It is just as easy as saying, no, that person loves me, no, that person is the greatest person ever, that person says that they love me all the time, or whatever it is that you're trying to get them to do. It is just as simple now I can't talk as saying it. And yeah, I think a lot of people do get sort of scared that it's not possible to change a person, but it 100% is, and it also benefits not just you. So I think that you shouldn't let that stop you.
Absolutely. Sandy says, Matt, how do you get back into the state or back to the state? So the state is just where your desire lives. So what would you be thinking, feeling, and acting like if you had your desire? And that's simply consciously act that way. So in a relationship, if someone was to say to me, are you single? I would be like, no, I'm in, an amazing relationship with a person. That's me. And that would be what I would say if I was actually in that relationship. So to enter the state of being in that relationship, I need to be thinking like that. I need to be telling people, or telling myself at least. You haven't got to tell other people if you don't want to, but at least yourself, you need to be telling yourself, I'm in a relationship with this person, or I'm so happy to be spending the rest of my life with this person. Or if someone says, what do you do for a living? Oh, I work as a so-and-so earning so-and-so. Whatever you would say if someone was to ask you a question like that, that is something that you should be telling yourself, because that's the state. That's the state that you want to be in. So, do you have a lot of money? Yeah, I'm actually quite rich. There you go. There's an affirmation that puts you in the state. So to get back into the state, you just have to be thinking consciously as though you are already the person who has what it is that you want to have. And by thinking, this could be visualization, scripting, simply just thinking, affirmations, whatever kind of way that gets you thinking from that perspective, and that will put you into the state. Bethany Inman says, hi both, love your knowledge about this. You always make it more interesting. Thank you very much. If you are manifesting a relationship, do you basically live in the end as if they were your boyfriend? Yes, absolutely. Whatever you would be thinking like if they were with you right now, that's what you want to be consciously doing. And this could, like I said just a second ago, could be through affirmations, visualization, scripting, whatever is getting you to think from that perspective. Daru says, hi, does distance matter while manifesting a specific person? Not at all. So distance will be a 3D obstacle, but like I said earlier on in the stream, I'm not sure if you were in it, but even in scripture, it says God makes a way when there isn't a way, and things of that nature. When you pray, believe you've received it, and you shout. All of these things imply that all you need to do is say, I have this right now, and it will come into fruition without you having to work through any 3D obstacles. Victory Play says, I'll continue my studies at university, but I'd pay, and in second semester I'll have to pass that failed classes. So yeah, I hope I can manifest the best for me, good grades, and changing them. Yes, you absolutely can manifest all of that and everything, but you need to actually stay committed to it. So I'm perfectly fine with people asking questions, but the past few live streams have had a very similar question along the same, and I've obviously given you a very similar answer. Commit to either having whatever it is that you want these grades to get you to, or commit to having the grade that you actually want. Anything outside of that, isn't going to benefit you. So only focus on either revising or having that grade right now. Tiffany Clark says, I finally caught a live. Howdy, howdy, Tiffany. Happy to see you both. What advice would you give on teaching our children about manifestation so they aren't reprogramming their minds and self-concept as much as we have? So I think, it's skipped. Yeah. Oh God, there's so many people. Oh God, there's so many people. We might not actually be able to answer all these questions today. It skipped to the bottom, so now I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. So in terms of teaching children, I think the best way to teach children is to just kind of have fun with it. So we actually don't talk to ours about it all of that much, to be honest. But if I was to speak about it, I just sort of say the things that you want, start pretending that you already have it because you'll end up getting it. And I wouldn't really go into too much detail about why, just kind of tell them the general basics and then let them sort of gradually test it, maybe even do it with them, like at night, do a couple of affirmations with them or something. But children generally tend to be very good at doing it anyway. So I don't know what age range you're talking when you mean children, but I find children below like the ages of like 7 are naturally very good at it anyway, because they're constantly just living in a state of pretend and imagination. And I have this thing right now. But as they get older, I would definitely recommend that you tell them that it's worth basically just living in the end, saying that if you want something to happen to happen for you or to you, then you need to be assuming that it is going to happen and that it's happening right now, and just try to gradually ease them into it.
I was just going to say as well, like, I don't know what your children are like, but I quite often hear, oh, when I'm older, I'm going to own a Lamborghini and all of this kind of stuff. Like, just literally, they just spew out everything that they possibly want and say, when I'm older, I'm going to get that. And I'm just like, yeah, of course you will. Like, always continuously bigging them up. Like, yes, of course you. And one thing I like to do is make them put an age limit on it. Because otherwise saying things like, oh, when I'm older, it's just, like forever away kind of thing. It's just when you're older, when you're older, when you're older. So I'm like, oh, do you mean when you're 25? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, of course you'll get that when you're 25. So I think like a lot of it is bigging them up. In terms of self-concept as well, whenever they say anything negative, I'm like, no, you're not. Like, that's not what you are, sort of thing. And then I like to get them to say something nice, sort of to replace it, because every now and then they'll say something mean about each other or something mean about a person, and I'm like, no, that's not it. What's nice about them, sort of thing.
Yeah. Fandom Geek says, leaving due to some afternoon errands. Love the time zone difference. Enjoy dinner and thank you. I'll come back and rewatch and follow up in comments. Thank you very much for showing up and supporting us in the first place, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Well, you're probably gone by now, but I hope you've had a yeah, you know what I mean.
Probably done all the errands and just back.
Yeah, and it's already back. Yeah. H says, I've manifested 2 SPs though. That's good. I mean, it shows you that it works. So keep at it and then just use that for your main one. Aquarius Child says, I'm really struggling to think and feel good about myself. My self-esteem is not great. How to validate myself? So in this instance, very similar to what I said to Phantom Geek at the beginning, is you may not be able to control when or where thoughts come from, but you can definitely control where they go. And you can definitely control what you say. So if you don't feel particularly good and you're struggling to think of yourself as being what it is that you want to be, say it. You can force yourself to say it. And when you start to force yourself to say it, the more that you do it, the more it will start to feel more natural, because you'll gradually be creating that belief within yourself. So if you feel like that, stop whatever you're doing if you can, and literally just say to yourself that you are whatever it is that you want to. Say it once, say it twice, say it 3 times, and gradually you'll begin to start feeling yourself saying it more and more naturally. And then that will become more natural as an assumption.
Sorry, I was just going to say, anytime I'm feeling bad about myself, I stand in front of the mirror and list everything that I either see or that I want to see, sort of thing, as though it's there. Like, oh, my hair is so long, my eyes are so big and pretty and blah blah blah, and just list it all out, sort of thing. To begin with, I felt really stupid doing that, I'm not gonna lie. So one of the things that I did do is, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but songs that just big up like themselves, you know what I mean. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there's some songs where they just are like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. And I just started listening to those and then singing along, and that then sort of felt like a stepping stone into being able to say nice things about myself and not feeling ridiculous by doing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vibes on Vibes says, thanks, Matt. I agree with everything you said. This was very helpful. Was just finding it a struggle to stay in the forgiveness state, hence the anger at times, but I'll try my best. Yeah, it's definitely not the easiest practice, but it is easier the more you practice. Hey, I should coin that. That's spitting bars. But yeah, give it a go, see how it feels. Now I'm 15 says, found out today that he's planning on transferring his money and assets on his other daughter's name so that me and our daughter don't have access to it. And yeah, that's something I feared would happen. What do I do to stop this from happening? If it's something that you feared happened and now it's happening, then obviously you know that what you fear is going to come into fruition. So try to remove that fear and dwell in the end state of him giving your daughter all the assets instead of the others, or keep spreading it equally, or dwelling in the end state of it being not changed, for example. But try not to fear anything, because like you proved yourself, you feared it and now it's happening. So try to remove that fear as best you can, and sitting the power and the knowing that it's all going the way that you wanted to go instead. Go on.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, like the absolute worst case scenario is that, you know, it is all transferred over. But even in that instant, you can tell yourself that your daughter still gets it, you know, that like the other person decided to share with you and stuff like that. So I think that like having like a fear of something and it being like the be all end all sort of thing of, oh no, he's going to take it all away from us. Just think about all of the other ways that you could get that thing, and then it takes the fear away from that being the scenario sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to. I actually think we might not be able to make it through all of the comments tonight because there's so many, and we kind of do need to head off because we got some other things to do. But I will try my best to get through them. Probably go for another 15 minutes, and then if not, unfortunately, I'll have to cut them off, and I do apologize. But if you put them in the comment section afterwards, I'll answer them all by comment afterwards. Victory says, I have a few questions. What do you think about manifesting on a time crunch, less than 24 hours? So manifesting on a time crunch is entirely possible, but the only thing is people want to manifest on a time crunch. But if you impress your subconscious mind with the idea that it's here now, it will get to work making it happen for you in the fastest way possible anyway. And when you're trying to manifest on a time crunch, quite often when you have that time crunch, is because you have a need for it sooner, which more often than not comes from a state of lack. So is it possible? Yes, it is. How do you do it? Focus on having it right now and remove the element of time, because you're just adding more obstacles and more things in your way to get past with your conscious mind to be able to manifest it, or to be able to feed this story to your subconscious mind. So try to remove the element of time and try to dwell in the end result of it being here now. And then you say how to revise. So revision is basically just taking an event that's happened in the past and changing its outcome. So let's say, just a quick example, you want to revise a breakup. In the situation of your breakup, it was you and your person arguing, and they said, fuck this, I'm out. Revision would be, obviously depending on whatever technique you choose to use, it will be, instead of letting it play out where they said, fuck this, I'm out, it could have been that you guys made up and everything has been better since. If it's visualization, you could visualize that scene and then visualize the different outcome. If it's affirmations, you could use the I remember when technique. So I remember when we were arguing, but now we're better than ever, which implies that there was never a breakup in the first place. If it's scripting, you could script out the story. And basically, it's just changing the way that you remember the events happening. I have problems with visualization, so those will obviously be a couple of different ways you could do it. Any tips for fast manifestation and changing beliefs? Again, dwell in the end result of it already being here now. Changing beliefs, again, like I said at the beginning of the stream, you don't have to do it, but if you want to, get the way that I would recommend, get out a piece of paper or get my core belief sheet, which is on my website. Write out whatever it is that is negative that you want to change, and then write out the opposing. So if it's, for example, your core belief is that anyone that you like seems to not be interested in you, you'd write that out and say, what's the opposing? The opposing would be something like, anyone I'm interested in is more interested in me than I am of them, or something like that. And then you will tell yourself this new story, and that will gradually overtake that story. Itachi Uchiha, apologies if I said that wrong, says, hi, my question is that I'm not sure about letting go and letting the universe unfold it for you. What should I do? I should stop my manifestation or something like that. So when it comes to letting go, from my perspective, I think the best way to let go is letting go of the need for it. So you can want something, but not need it. When people say let go as in like completely give up, some people have success with it. Do I have success with it? Yeah, but do I have success if I just remove my attachment and stay committing to the end result? I definitely more so. So for me, letting go would be letting go of obsession, negative feelings, need, fear that it's not going to happen, and accepting that it may never happen in order to move past the fear of it may never happen. And then that'll allow you to come from a place of choosing as opposed to needing. But you don't have to stop your manifestation if you don't want to. You can still persist, just stop the need for it. Bahula. Sorry if I said that wrong. I have no idea how to say that. Hey, can I ask, do you guys perhaps know what it means when you're manifesting an SP and you smell their scent every now and then, even when they're not there? Also, seeing their name a lot. So people would see this as birds before lands or signs or some sort of variation to show that your subconscious mind is kind of picking up on the story that you're feeding it, obviously in terms of them. So signs of their name, signs of their smell and stuff. And it's kind of just showing you evidence to suggest that it is picking up on that. And a lot of people will see that as a very good sign that you're close to your manifestation, or at least on the right path to it. Itachi says, at Boule, I'm just going to say Boule. Apologies if I'm wrong. Correct me if I am wrong. They're coming back to you soon. So yeah, sort of similar to what I said with the signs. Victory says, how long should I affirm, visualize, script, etc.? Do you have any tips about using techniques to manifest fast without problems? You've asked me how to manifest fast 3 times in 3 different ways in 3 separate comments. Didn't think that was possible. I've tried to script, but I don't know if I've done that right. So how long you should affirm is entirely up to you. Obviously, if you're really busy, you're not going to be able to do a technique for particularly long. I recommend you try to do, especially with affirmations, you try to do them when you get the chance to. Visualizations, definitely try to do in the morning and at night before you go to sleep, and scripting whenever you find the time to do so. As for, do you have any tips about manifesting fast and without problems? Stop assuming there's a problem. Stop worrying about time and just manifest, dwell in the end result of it being here right now. Because if it's here right now, it's going to happen in the fastest way possible anyway. And remove the need. I feel like there's a massive need to manifest something fast from your end of the of things, and I think that may be a situation that's holding you back. Remove the need and attachment to the fast manifestations, and just dwell in the end result of it happening now, and know that it's coming to you.
So I was just going to add something. I think a good task for you to do right now is do a few little tests and find out what actually brings in something fast, like most quickly for you, because there are many different sort of techniques and things like that, and I personally find that certain techniques are more long-term for me and certain techniques come in a lot quicker. So for me personally, the thing that happens like instantly is having a conversation out loud, usually when I'm driving to work, as though I'm talking to somebody else about something. So literally like a conversation would be, where you like pretend answer their questions and all of this kind of stuff, and it's like you're telling a story and saying it out loud. For me, that is what brings in things like now, like even like things that it's funny because sometimes I'm like, oh, that'll never happen, like they even still come in kind of thing. So I think that a good task for you would be sort of just having a look at what you mainly do and what feels best for you, and like find your like top 3 or something, and then do 3 very minor but very easy things that can come in, as in like finding a coin on the floor. What is some quick manifestations that you can
Old
do?
friend reaching out, compliment from someone random.
There you go. Those 3 things. Do 1 for each thing and just see which one comes in fastest, and then you'll know what brings in the things quickest for you, kind of thing. Because I think that when you are panicking about a particular thing, you want it to come in right now, and you're going through all of the different options as much as you can, sort of thing, and it's bouncing all around all the different ones. It's desperate like need, sort of thing. So finding the one that works for you and then just sticking to it, I think would be a best like approach for you right now.
Yes. So we've got about 6 minutes. I definitely don't think I'm going to get through all of these questions because there is a lot, and there's a lot of paragraphs as well. So if I don't get to answer your question, if it's really like burning, put it in the comment section after this live stream has ended, and I'll answer it via text. If you really want a spoken answer, and I hate to say this because this makes me feel like a scumbag, but you can try the super chat method, but obviously you don't have to, but it just means that I'll have to answer it either written or save it for the next stream. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get through the rest of these comments, but I'm going to try and smash through as many as I can.
Sorry, I will stop rambling. Let's go.
Oh, shit. I lost where I was as well.
Oh.
Okay, just here. Okay, so Lone Wolf Heart says, if I'm feeling that excited butterfly sensation about my SP, will that help my manifestation? Will he feel it too? I love the feeling, but wanted your opinion, Matt or Katie. So yes, it will help your manifestation because it's kind of that element of feeling it real. You feel that butterflies and excitement when you're with them. So it's kind of like if you're dwelling in the end result and you're getting that feeling, it can only help. In terms of will he feel it too, he will definitely have things in alignment with whatever it is that you're feeling. Like I mentioned in my what your specific person feels when you affirm video, it may not necessarily be the exact same thoughts, but it will be things in alignment to get them to that end result of you two being together. So it will definitely help you. Connor Patrick Music says, it's very satisfying to know that there are an infinite amount of realities where everyone can get what they want. Yes, absolutely. And this is why I feel zero guilt about the idea of changing people or, I want this, I'm going to go for it, because in other realities, other people will be getting the same thing anyway. Daigu, apologies if I said that wrong, or Jugu, sorry if I said that wrong. How many affirmations should I have? I have like 3 pages. Is it too much? Do you think repeating just 1 or 2 is better? I actually manifested my SP back 2 months ago, but now I want moving in together. So, moving in, not moving on, dang. So I personally think that having between 3 and 5 to repeat is really good. But in terms of how many that you have to choose from, have as many as you want. So if you want to have pages of different ones that you could choose from, and then on the day you're like, oh, today I feel like using these 3 because they resonate, do that. But you can have as many as you want. It's whatever helps you stay committed to affirming them. If you feel like you have too many and you're getting confused, lower it a bit. If you feel like you just having the one affirmation makes you bored and you just give up, maybe add a couple more just to kind of add that variety. But yeah, you can have as many or as little as you want, just whatever helps you stay, repeating it. Puan says, sir, I affirm SP loves me, SP marries me, belief and feeling need. Sorry, I don't fully understand the wording of that. Sir, I affirm SP loves me, SP marriage me, belief and feeling need. I'm really sorry. I don't quite understand what the question is there. I do apologize.
I think they're all really good things to affirm. I think what this person's saying is that's what they are affirming for. So that the person is in love with them, that they want to get married and feeling like need to have them, sort of thing. I think that's what he's saying. So I think that that's a great thing to affirm for. All of those things.
Okay, then yeah, if that's what you're saying, then yeah, by all means. But if I've got that wrong, you probably might have to comment this after because I don't think I'm going to get down to it. Boule says at Itachi, crying emojis or crying with laughter emojis, and then weird. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to go up and see because I'm going to end up missing. Victory says, could you make a video about manifesting fast, for God's sake? Not reacting to the 3D and living in the 4D. I can definitely make a video on all of those things, but I really think you need to let go of manifesting fast. It is holding you back. You've asked the same question 4 times. Well, that one was slightly different, but you've asked about manifesting fast 4 times in this stream, and I definitely think that that's going to be holding you back because of the need for it to be fast shows how severely in lack you are. But I can definitely make a video on those 3 topics for sure. Or about how to make techniques fun. That's a good topic. I'll definitely do that. Or maybe you could say something here. So I've already answered the fast one. I'm not going to do that one again. Not reacting to the 3D. You can react. It's just try not to react. Like if you do react, try to catch yourself as soon as you do or as fast as you possibly can, and then place your awareness on the reality that you want, because the reaction isn't the worst case scenario. It's the dwelling on the reaction. It's the dwelling on the wrong things that is. Remember, your thoughts are what matters the most, not what you do in 3D. So try to, if you notice yourself reacting, then redirect focus to something else.
I was just going to say, I think it's actually quite important for you to naturally, to let your natural reaction come out. So if something shocks you, I think you need to just, for a few seconds, not for long at all, but you need to be shocked. You need to let it out. Because if you just go, oh, no, not going to let that out, and you just hold it in, all you're doing is letting it grow and grow and grow, and you'll keep going back to it and thinking about it. And then it will explode, and it will be a massive reaction that is like way more out of proportion than it needed to be and everything like that. So I think in the initial moment of something happening, that initial shock or sadness or anger or happiness or whatever it is, you just need to let it burst out and then be done with it. It's over. It's done. Don't dwell in it. Don't let it continue to grow or anything like that. But I do think that your natural reaction to things is important to just like expel from your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Tater Tot says, how did you and Katie both personally get into believing in your own power as the god of your reality? I've been trying to step into believing I'm the ultimate power. Any tips? So for me, it was more just about like practice, trial and error, trialing it with money, with people, with physique, with all of these different things. And then just gradually get so many like mini successes that it became difficult for me to play them off as coincidences. And then when the bigger ones came in, it was just like, yeah, this is definitely me. And then I just knew that that's what needed to be done. What about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. So again, started little, worked out what I found worked the best for me, and then just believed in myself, sort of thing. I think like a lot of things that I have done in the past have like going over it in my brain, I can now go, oh yeah, I did affirm that. Oh yeah, I did create that. Oh yeah. And I think like just doing those kind of things, just to let yourself know that you have been doing it all along without even realizing, is super important. And obviously like little things that you like practice and stuff in your just normal day-to-day life actually do create the things moving forward. So I think looking back and just going over everything, it does show you that you have done it all along, sort of thing.
Yeah. So I have to actually cut the stream here, and I'm really sorry because this is the first time I think I've ever cut a stream without answering all the questions. But I have to go and do some other things now. If you still really need your question answered, by all means, put it in the comment section once this video has gone live. I did see that Nora said to please answer her question, and I know that I'm pretty sure I did. What's up? Is there someone else?
That was the one that I said, when I was like, oh, somebody's just asked, I just let everybody know that it goes down. I feel bad.
Yeah, but unfortunately, a lot of people join the stream, which is great, but it just means, and we're on a bit of a shorter time scale because we haven't eaten or like sorted a few things out. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to end the stream here. If you do have any burning questions, by all means, put them in the comment section after this video goes live, or hold on to them for the next live stream, which will obviously be next week. Yeah, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Really sorry we didn't get to answer them all, but we will do our best in the next one to be able to stay longer to be able to answer them. But if you could all have a good rest of your day, that would make me feel less bad about it. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Comment all your questions.
I was.
Oh, sorry. You want to say something?
Sorry, I was just going to say that because sometimes questions are for me, not very often, but sometimes they are. If they are for me, Matt will tell me, like if you do put them in the comments, sort of thing, and then I will reply to them off of my YouTube, which is Cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, sorry everyone. Really don't mean to, but
we love you.
We gotta go. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.